Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kara, and this is week 7 of my 13-week flower study. If you're just joining us now, I recommend you hit up the other 6 weeks to see what all I have spun. Let's see what this week brings us. Let's go roll some dice and pick our samples. All right, let's roll for samples. Florida crackers, Icelandic, and horned Dorset. And for our non-rolls, we've got Ramie and corn. Let's do some spinning. Alrighty, so first up, I'm going to do horned Dorset. I just carted up this little floof. This feels really nice. I like how this feels. I like this. It drafts smoothly. I can spin it thin. It's got that little bit of tooth that I do enjoy. This is quite pleasant. I like the staple length. It works very well with the style of spinning I do. Yeah, I really like this. This is really easy to spin. Very head empty. Oh, I cannot wait to spin outside again. It's almost time. Sitting here hearing the birds sing, and I'm so excited. That's horned Dorset. I really like this. Oh, that's gonna fluff out nice. Oh, that's soft. A little bit on the rust, just like a tiny bit more rustic, but still soft. I really like spinning that, and I really like the yarn it makes. Look at that elasticity. Like the bounce on it. Very nice. Next up is some Florida cracker. So this is a sheep that was originally kind of feral to Florida, and the people that cared for the sheep would just let them, they would run free, and then when they needed to be sheared, they would corral them up, shear them, and then let them be on their merry way. And I think this is going to spin up similarly to the Dorset, just based on how springy this feels. Yeah, this is quite similar. I very much like this. Also spins really thin, drafts smoothly with a little bit of that tooth. They're very similar, but they're slightly different, but I can't exactly pick out what it is that's different, but I can tell that they're different still. I think this one is a little bit shorter than the horned Dorset. I have to have a much smaller drafting zone. If we look at the locks, yeah, the horned Dorset is just a little bit longer. So this is the Dorset. This is the Florida cracker. So they both have a ton of elasticity. And the Florida cracker has more crimp than the Dorset. Those are tiny little crimps. These ones not so much. There's Florida cracker. Also quite elastic, like the horned Dorset. I think the Florida cracker is just a little bit softer, but otherwise they are very, very similar, both in experience and result. So they're both on my really like list. And last but certainly not least is Icelandic. And a lot of people think Icelandic is a really scratchy, really itchy, but I've spun Icelandic before, and I've spun some nice Icelandic. Icelandic is a double-coated breed, and they're like the original double-coated breed. So tog and thel are the terms that are used when talking about Icelandic. And it is very straight and hairy. So I don't remember how I felt about Icelandic, so let's re-explore it together. Ooh, it drafts kind of similarly to Gotland. Not quite as silky, but still definitely more like hair. I don't hate it, but I don't think I would seek it out. It's nice, but it's not quite as buttery as Gotland. That's kind of how I would describe Gotland, is buttery smooth. This is smooth, but not buttery smooth. But if I'm comparing it to all the other breeds that had similar fleece, I like this a lot better than a lot of the other ones. All right, that's Icelandic. I would describe that as pleasant. I don't think I would be reaching for it, but if I was stuck on a desert island with only Icelandic to spin, I wouldn't be too upset. That's that on that. I have a vest that I made with local Icelandic. It's it's not next to skin, but it is quite nice, and it was nice to knit with. Hardly any elasticity. That's Icelandic. Icelandic gets a thumbs up. Okay, next up is Ramie, which is also a bast fiber like flax and bamboo. I remember when I was weighing and packaging these out that I hated the way they feel, but at this moment I do not feel that way. But yeah, I can definitely feel the resemblance to bamboo. I think I'm gonna like it. Quite long staple length. Like, I don't know if you can really tell, but like my hands are a bit further apart than I usually have them when I'm spinning, so my tension might be a little high for this. Oh, joining is difficult. This is okay. It's a little stickier than I would like something like this to be, I think. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. Alrighty. Not a super big sample because I wanted to stop spinning it. Plant fibers just aren't my thing. So, yeah, big meh. Big ol' meh. Meh. And lastly, I have some corn fiber, also called Ingeo. Ingeo. This is going to be interesting because it's like squeaky. Squeaky. Super short. Kind of difficult to draft because it just wants to stick to itself. So compared to the Ramie, my draft zone is non-existent. Challenging? Challenging. This is definitely one of those weird fibers that's like just, I don't know why I would ever reach for it, but it's one of those things that you're like, oh yeah, I've tried that. That's freaking weird. All right, well, there's my tiny little sample of corn yarn. Yeah, that's going in the just weird, why would I spin that again pile. Gonna have to look. I want to look into it just because I'm curious, not because I want to use it. That's week 7. Some interesting stuff. Some likes and some weirds. Thanks for sticking through this, and check out the other videos in this series if you haven't already. I have already learned a lot about my preferences so far, and we're only halfway through. So I'm excited to keep going. I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging, and I'll see you next week. Bye.